I am Angel Buzzhead. I will destroy you.
Good morning once again, my flatulent friends. It's a bright sunny day. Here's what happens when you share a car with your 21-year-old son. I don't know what that is on the side window. It's pretty yucky looking. Yeah, today's camera angle is probably a little bit different. Interestingly enough, it's 88 degrees right now. Yesterday it was so hot, my little flip camera here overheated. It just shut right off. Had a message on the back that said it's too hot, let it cool down. I didn't even know I had that feature. It's amazing. It's not interesting. It's amazing. You know, that's just one of the benefits of technology. And one thing that technology has allowed is our ability to communicate has just grown exponentially over the span of our species' existence, you know, for the centuries that we've been on this planet. Well, I should say our ability to make and hear sounds from each other. Because really our communication probably hasn't gotten any better. I mean, here's an example. I can make a video, and because of the internet, it can be seen all over North America, all over the whole world. And yet no one understands me. There's probably no real information actually being transmitted here. To be a little bit more rigorous, I should probably say that man's ability to distribute the sounds that he utters has increased dramatically over the century. So let me continue uttering. Back in the caveman days, if two people wanted to communicate, they pretty much had to be right next to each other and just kind of babble away, hit each other with a stick, or however they chose to communicate. And it remained that way for years and years and years. You know, and eventually we progressed through writing letters. We got, I guess back in the Middle Ages, Gutenberg, I guess, was kind of on a bender, a little bit drunk. Got his shirt tail caught in a wine press and printed wine stains all over his shirt. Gave it kind of a Rorschach's look, I guess. And I guess, you know, the next day when he sobered up, he looked at the whole thing and said, hey, I could use this to print the New York Times. Some of those smutty pulp fiction novels. Thus the printing press was born. And that, you know, that greatly increased our ability, not so much to communicate far and wide, because you still had to transport these books around. Now we're able to store knowledge. But once more, we're able to transcend time. You could write something and 200 years later read it. Alexander Graham Cracker, I guess, invented the telephone. I guess supposedly he was in one room with one telephone, and then Watson was in the other room with the other telephone. And supposedly he spilled some kind of acid or caustic stuff or something on himself. Yelled, Watson, come here, I need you. And then I guess supposedly he was burned horribly because Watson didn't have call waiting. You know, the interesting thing is we started out like with the telephone network, stuff connected by hard wires, and then to get more freedom, we went to things like radio. You know, Macaroni invented the radio, you know, and then we got TV. So all this stuff went through the air, and we were no longer tied to each other by wires, and that gave us a newfound freedom. Then oddly enough, we're going backwards. Now we got cable TV. Everyone's tied together by cables, cable TV. Cable TV is the better TV than the broadcast TV now, oddly enough, right? So now we're tied back to the cables, you know, whether they be metal or fiber optic. And then the granddaddy communicator of them all, of course, is the internet. And the internet, once again, we're tied to it with cables, because the internet is just all of these computers basically cabled together into a huge web all around the world. And so we're going back to cables. And sure, we have Wi-Fi so we can talk to the closest computer through the air, but you can't get much farther away than that. You know, but now we're going to satellites and stuff like that, so it just gives us the ability to just bother the heck out of each other 24/7. You know, back when I was a kid, you just took the phone off the hook and you were free. No one could get a hold of you. You were in your own little haven. You created your own little sanctuary. You know, if your girlfriend or your wife called you and you didn't answer the phone, it's because you weren't near the phone and you had an excuse. Nowadays, my daughter gets mad at her boyfriend, my son's girlfriend gets mad at him. If they call on its cell phone and they don't answer within 3 seconds, because that cell phone goes with you everywhere. That thing is like glued to your hip. And it's getting worse because now they got the Bluetooth thing. I mean, now it's glued to your mandible over here. I don't know why they call it Bluetooth. It should be blue ear because you got that bright blue blinking ear. So my point is, our ability to communicate has really, really, really gotten out of hand. So until next time, please keep all hands, feet, and teeth inside the ride till it comes to a complete stop. Sorry, I gotta take this call.